This is Mongolian Mindset, and today we're going to be ranting again. We do our weekly rants with Christian. Today we're going to be talking about the red pill and pretty much the male space. I mean, obviously we're guys and all that. So we got some great things to share with you guys, some great insights, some great truths.
You're gonna be calling
Unfortunately,
out the bullshit. And
unfortunately, some people might not like this video. A lot of men or whatnot, but we're gonna give you no bar, the real deal, the holy pill, the God pill. Okay, that's what we're gonna be giving you guys. So, Christian, man, what are your thoughts on the red pill or the manosphere?
well, I think the manosphere was something that was truly needed at the time because we were going in a certain direction where everything was trending towards the more feminine type of viewpoint. And I feel like just like any movement, it needs its counterbalance to keep it in check. You know what I mean? Because if you just trend towards one direction and don't present the other viewpoint, you just end up in a place where you don't want to be. So, because for so many years we were trending towards that feminine viewpoint, it just, makes sense that there's going to be an opposite viewpoint to come forward. And that was the red pill. And now the red pill has become kind of a mainstream thing. So, in some ways, holes are starting to show in its philosophy, and there's almost like this meta commentary that's happening because now even women know the red pill talking points.
Hey,
So
one thing I want to say, I'm gonna say this. Uh, if everybody knows something, it's time to find something new. You'll never, ever, ever, ever see me. I'm always 1 or 2 steps ahead. I'm never. If I see everybody else doing that shit, I'm like, Christian, bro, it's time to move on to something else. Yeah. So if everybody know about the red pill or like picking up chicks with the red pill, that shit ain't gonna work no more. It's time to find something new.
well, the thing is, a lot of what made the red pill kind of pop was things that men would talk about with each other, but that women didn't know about. But because of the internet, just everything is public now. So like once everything popped off, now women are starting to get that information and adapting to the new normal, kind of,
Mhm.
which is funny because it's something new that has never happened. Where women know kind of like the locker room talk viewpoints of men and are now acting accordingly based on that information. So it's kind of interesting where it's development.
All right. The first thing I'll go and hit is we get this a lot is what is the male peak? Okay. The male peak.
First, describe
Wait,
what describe exactly what male peak means, or what
okay,
is it
so
referring
the
to?
male peak is just when you're at your best. Simple as stated, where your looks, your money, all that is kind of hitting a certain point where it's all in one. Okay.
Where
Uh,
you're at your most attractive, right?
yeah, you're most attractive. So like you got pretty much everything. You're not losing your looks. You do have money. It's kind of like it's like a diagram right there in the middle. You know,
Yeah.
that's what you really want. Guys, I've seen online they say 36 is the peak for males, and that's wrong. Okay, the real truth, peak to males is whenever you start losing your hair, whenever your skin starts dragging, and whenever you get a fucking gut. You get these three things, and you are no longer in your peak. Okay. Um, I don't care what no one says. If you start doing that at 17, your peak is over. Okay. If that shit starts hitting you at 22, your peak is now over. That shit starts hitting you at 25, your peak is over. Some people can make it to 26, 30, 34, 35, 37, 40, 44, but majority of people are not gonna do that. Okay. That's just a pipe dream. Selling people some bullshit. Okay, as soon as you start losing your fucking hair, your skin starts drooping, you start getting fat, prime's over.
Yeah, I think what happens in the red pill is they focus so much on money and the development of your career that they miss out on your like physical attractiveness, right? So then what they do is like, oh well, the peak of men is 35 because by 35, you pretty much have, progressed in your career enough to where you can make 6 figures plus or whatever. On average, most people take to about 35 to really, hit their stride. So then the red pill will say their peak is there because that's when they finally maximize their income level, right? But what they're missing is that physically you're at your prime between the age of, let's say, 23 to 32, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So really,
Give and
you
take,
have
give and take. I said give and take plus or minus two there. Give and take plus or minus two there.
plus or minus two, depending on genetics,
Mm-hmm.
because some people, fall off quicker. But the reality is that you're at your peak younger than 35. By 35, you have already exited your peak. And you can see that with athletes. I mean, there's a reason why running backs fall off after 30 or whatever, they start to decline. It's just a natural thing. Like, and men don't get away from that. They think only women decline, but we decline also. And I would say in your early 20s, even though physically you're at a healthy state, you haven't figured out all the other stuff, right? So, like, your income level is almost non existent. So, that can't be your peak because it's a combination of things.
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as attractiveness, too, men mature slower. It's almost like their bodies change slower than women. By the early 20s, women already kind of develop to the max of their physical capability, whereas men are still progressing, which is why you see like college football players and high school football players. The college football players tend to be bigger, stronger, whatever, because it takes just longer periods drawn out. So by 20, I would say by 25, you're physically developed to the max by 25,
25.
but your career is just getting started. So I would say if you add that into the equation, I would say maybe 28, 29 would be the true peak for men because it's where you're at your most physically capable with combination of you've been in your career for a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
So
If
now you're,
that's saying if you're doing things right, like if you fucking
of
out
course,
here and you just drifting around, you're fucked. Okay,
and like
never gonna
if we're
be
gonna
good.
be honest too, because we're considering the peak as when you're most attractive to the opposite sex. That's what we're talking about within this context. Like, women don't really want you to be that much older than them.
That's
That's one thing that the red pill doesn't talk about. Is like, yes, women like older men, but not that much older.
older. Yeah.
That's a misconception that they're just trying to sell to you. They're trying to sell you a dream. In reality, if you're about 32, 33, and you go talk to a 23-year-old, a lot of the time, if you even tell them the number 30 something, they're going to look at you crazy.
Hmm. I got an actual story. One time I went out with my buddy Jerome. Uh, uh, what was no, who was Jerome? My buddy, what was it? Ben. It was Ben. Um, and Ben he was in his 40s. He looked like a fucking stud. Like this guy was a stud. But you can kind of see like he's getting gray hair. His skin didn't look the best, things like that. But I'm like, man, this guy should be able to pull girls easy. So we went out to the bar, and I'll never forget like this girl like humiliated him, and he was like, I'm never coming back. I'm never going out ever again. I'm like, holy shit.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Humiliated him how? What
They
did
said
what
like,
you
oh, you like you're my dad's age or some shit, like all type of shit like that. And I was like, this guy looks like he's in good shape. He's over 6'1", he's white. So I mean, he's got all the little markers that would do pretty well, but like you said, they really don't play by that age shit, man.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, a woman will
Unless
go older, but really max, I would say 4 years. After 5, 6, 7 years, now you like going into, oh, you're my older brother category. You're, as old as my father category. And as soon as you get into that, you are essentially filtering out women who are looking for non-transactional relationships, because most of the time a younger woman who's going to go for a dude that's 10, 12 years older, is really just looking for income capability or economic capability. So it turns into a transactional relationship. And yes, all relationships are transactional to an extent, but they are levels to that shit. There are levels to that shit
Yeah.
because any relationship is transactional, but when you start adding these factors of like you being that much older and you're stepping away from what she really wants, which is a dude who's more to her generation,
I'm pretty
about
sure
two,
that
3 years away, maybe,
I'm pretty sure the
then
data says 2 to 3, 2, 2, 3, 2 to 3.
yeah, then she needs to be compensated for that because she's sacrificing to be with you essentially
I mean, she's
because
gonna be
she's stepping away
thinking.
from her essentially like a want zone, like the list of things that she wants in a partner. You are not that guy because you're too old.
I
So she needs
mean,
to get some extra compensation for that, which is essentially your finances. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, she's gonna be thinking. By the time she get to your age, you gonna be pulling out your W-2. That don't sound too fucking good.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
or like by the time she want to do something, your back gonna be hurting too much. So you got to think about that. And a lot of things that people don't really understand or get is as you age, like you start losing choices as well. So like the good chicks, the real hot good chicks that everybody want, they're getting married, they're having kids, and some of the people that do get divorced or whatnot, 28, 29, 30. Now let's say you're 34, 35, you're trying to date women, so you're gonna be dating a little bit younger, maybe 28, 29. They may have kids, or if they got to a level, then they have a lot of other traits that you just don't want. So
Mhm.
they don't really talk about that a lot. So I guess we went hardcore on that, so you guys can clearly understand that. Christian, what do you think is the most valuable asset to acquiring sexual partners or
For sex, for
I
sexual
mean, just
partners,
just in general, your mate or whatever. What do you think is the most important factor?
well, they're different because if you just want sexual partners, honestly, it's most about looks, which is that's another thing that the red pill misses essentially because basically they say, well, if your income is to a certain level, if you make six figures or whatever, your top 10% income, then you'll get access to all of these women or whatever, which is not true, bro. We've seen it a million times. People who make six figures and can't do anything with it because they don't advertise it well or
Hmm.
they don't have their social skills on point,
Hmm.
right? So, in my opinion, it's all about looks and social skills if you just trying to get sex. Now, you won't retain them in a
I,
relationship.
I'll step over that. I won't say it's more looks. I say if you're gonna do that, it's more status. Status is most important. I think status is king, but not
Well,
everybody's
yeah,
gonna
no,
think
yeah,
status.
but we're talking
Status is
about,
king.
yes, but that's social skills too. That's what I'm saying. Like it's looks and social skills to get sex. Now, let's say after you've seen her a couple times or whatever, she figures out you're broke, then she gonna be gone because then she knows she got no future with you. You know what I mean? So, but they over represent how important income is just for casual partners. It's not really that important. There's a lot of people, for example, in Miami that present themselves as something they're not to get partners, and it works just fine. You
It
know,
works, but I think a lot of things are going on the internet, and now women can easily discern if you have it or not. Because if they go to a bar and let's say you think you're a big baller and you can't pay the tab, they know you don't have money. A big baller who's got money, he's buying people drinks, he's buying people shots. People know who he is. No one knows who you are. You're not doing nothing. You ain't got that. It's easy to see. I have a buddy of mine, he kind of fakes a lot of shit, but it's like what my other buddy Kyle says, like, bro, you could tell a broke motherfucker because they don't want to buy nothing. Like whenever it goes to buy some, pay for something, they got this look where they take and go into the background. So I
yeah.
think more of that stuff is hitting TikTok and things like that. So you got to plan accordingly to that. Like you can't like I think the whole fake it till you make it era is pretty much over, man.
You think so? I
I
don't
think
know.
so, man. I
I,
think I
I don't
think
know
I
if
think
it's
so.
over because it's so easy to present yourself on social media as something you're not. Because nowadays they go off your social media. So if I wanted to, fake something, I could just take a couple pictures in front of some cars or take a couple pictures in a different city or whatever. And they say, oh, well, this guy must be doing something because he's traveling and he got these cars or whatever.
Hmm.
And I could present a fake image and like women respond to that,
I mean,
So
what's gonna happen here? Well, I mean, you can go on a date, right? You can go on a
I mean
date.
that's what you're asking.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
That's
wait.
you're asking
You
for
got to go on a
casual
date,
stuff.
right? You're gonna have to go on a date, or she's gonna have
Yeah.
to come over to your place. If you have a roommates, you're obviously not that guy. If you got
Yeah.
roommates, you're not that guy. If you can't go on a date, since you got this high profile car, they don't expect you to go to one of the more expensive restaurants. You might get caught. They're gonna be expecting that. Like these tricks come out in TikTok and stuff like that now. That's what I'm saying. Like these tricks
Oh
are
yeah.
out. Like
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying originally.
that's why I
Like
said that era. I
women are
think is
figuring
over.
it out.
I
Like
think that
women are
era is
getting the
over.
information firsthand, and now they're adapting.
Mhm.
But they're always going to try to fake it though.
I mean, you
That's
always
never
try
going
to
to
fake
stop.
it. I mean, like I said, man, I've noticed just in general, like women now kind of pull your card. They don't pull your card. Like back in the day, you could probably get away with a lot of shit. Nowadays, they pulling your card, man. So
Yeah. And another thing is the red pill, because you mentioned like, oh well, what's more important to getting casual partners? And then I'm like, well, specify casual partners or relationship. The red pill is good if you want to get casual partners, but as far as a relationship, honestly, it has a lot of holes or it has a lot of missing information
mhm.
because a relationship is more complex than what how they paint it online. Especially if you're gonna be living with a partner, like you think you're gonna do all these tricks or whatever that they teach you long term, and it's like you said, your true self will come out, and if you're not that guy, and you're pretending to be this red pill guy, da 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 da, she gonna figure it out, bro. Or life is gonna test you and you're gonna fail because you're just not that guy. You're pretending to be that guy. And yeah, that'll get you in the door. But once you in the battlefield for real and life is hitting you and you gotta be that guy, and she gotta see you being that guy and you can't perform, that's your ass. You know what I'm saying? That's your ass.
Yeah.
That's why it's not enough to just like learn these things and I'm gonna pretend to be this guy. No, like you actually have to be that guy in her life, which
I think you have to put in the work, and I understand why a lot of guys are just like going mid or whatever. Because if you look at the amount of work that you have to do to get to where you need to be, it's almost like climbing a mountain. I mean, you got to get in the best physical shape of your life, so that's going to take you a couple years. Then you got to dedicate your life to finances. That's going to take you a couple set of years. Then you also got to get onto your like looks maxing and things like that. That's going to take you a couple years. So everything that you have to get gonna take you years. So I can see why dudes are like, fuck this. I ain't gonna fucking do that shit, man. I ain't gonna hit the gym 5 days a week. I ain't gonna fucking uh like Kasim said, put castor oil on his fucking
head.
eyebrows. This motherfucker put castor oil on his fucking eyebrows. But I'm just trolling with him. But just in general, there's a lot of things that go into that.
But bro, what's the alternative though? Like, what's the alternative to not doing these things? Because you gotta make money.
I mean,
That's You
at the
gotta
end of
make
the day,
money regardless.
I think at
And
the end of the day, what people fail to realize is that women just want somebody they can be proud of. That's it. They just want a guy when they talk to their girlfriends, they can be like, "That's my man," and they can feel some sense of pride or honor or whatever the fuck it is. That's what they want. Okay, so
yeah.
I mean, if you,
But I'm saying, like, if you're gonna be on this earth for however amount of years, whatever, it's like, bro, there's nothing else to do but go out, try to make some money, try to look a little bit better, try to learn new things or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Or what are you gonna do? Just be here and just sit on the couch and watch shows till you die? Like I don't understand that mentality of like oh wow, it seems so daunting. I'm not gonna do it. Time is gonna pass you by regardless. And you gotta you gotta spend the time somehow. So you might as well climb the mountain. There's nothing else to do, really.
I mean, you could just.
You could just chill on the couch, play video games till you die. And yeah, that's cool, but you're not gonna get the most out of life, you know.
Another thing I'll say is that Red Pill really caters to a certain demographic of women. If you follow our channel, you know that most of the time they're gonna be the SFP women or the SP women or the NTJ women. Okay, that's not all fucking women, dude. That's not all women. Those women, are a little bit more cutthroat. They're more, hypergamous. Like you better have your money, you better have this, you better have that. If you ain't got it, they might cut you. Like they, just cutthroat like that. But you don't have to get a woman like that. I think Christian recommends getting a very conservative woman, uh, so you don't lose no headaches at night. You don't have to sleep with one eye open.
Well, you just get I mean, it's easier to say than actually employ that strategy because how are you gonna find them?
I mean,
Because
you
the thing
you go
is
to different places.
the women that you see out when you go out
Oh yeah.
are not gonna be those types of women because those women are more inside or they're doing different things.
Well, you can go to the library, you can go to churches, you could go to coffee shops. You can go to all I mean,
It
you
ain't
gotta
so
try.
easy though. It ain't
You
so
gotta try
easy.
different things. I mean, gyms. Generally speaking, you might find them in gyms, grocery stores. There's possibilities. There's possibilities.
Now I want to get into something else. Can we talk about this this thing that the red pill sells about being the man who pays for everything, who essentially is the breadwinner, and then the
Oh,
wife gets to
Christian
sit
gonna
at
drop
home?
that. Oh, I mean, somebody
You go
asked me
first.
this shit,
You go first. You go first.
and my response is, I don't want no bum ass bitch.
Damn.
That's just straight up. Like, I don't want no bum ass bitch. When I go around, I want people to say, "Damn, bro, like them two successful people right there." Or I don't want a chance for my kid to be stupid. Okay, so if I get a dumb woman or a bum woman that I got to take care of, what kind of offsprings am I gonna get? Like, what type of offsprings am I gonna get? That's not what I'm looking for. I want somebody who can match me somewhat on intelligence. That's going to be a little bit rougher. And I do know what comes with that. And a lot of things that when it comes to relationships, you got to pick your poison. People don't pick their poison. If you get an intelligent woman, you got to take what comes with an intelligent woman. If you take a conservative woman, you got to take what comes with a conservative woman. If you take an emotional woman, you got to take what comes with an emotional woman. People want to pick and choose, and you can't pick and choose. You know what you're going in with.
Mm.
Um, so like me personally, I'm not big on being bum. Like I have a specific path that I want to do for myself, and a successful woman makes my path easier. I'm gonna take it. And as Christian says, if they do divorce me, when we take halfsies, it ain't that bad. You take half, I take half, you earned it. Okay, whatever. Let's sign the papers. I'm smiling when I'm signing the papers. I ain't getting robbed. Christian, what
Yeah.
do you want to say?
No, I'm just gonna say that the the way the economy is going right now, it's like even making six figures is not enough, honestly. Even if you make six figures and the average earner makes 50K, and let's say, okay, Red Pill's like, well, I'm not gonna be the average earner. I'm gonna make 80, 90, 100K.
Mhm.
It's like I said, it's not enough anymore. Now, you could sign up for that journey of being on your own 100K, pulling your family forward. Just picture yourself at the end of a wagon, right? You carrying that wagon by yourself.
Or,
And then
or you
you're
got or you got the raccoon eyes. Remember
with
the
the with
fucking
the with the baggy eyes like
baggy
this.
eyes, working
Yeah, baggy
16
eyes
hour
like this,
shifts.
carrying a damn wagon, and then your wife sitting on top of the mountain on the wagon or whatever, and you're carrying it. Okay, you could be that guy if you want.
Atlas, you be Atlas.
Atlas with the damn world on your shoulders, and then your wife on top of the world looking at you like,
You better
yeah,
not flinch,
carry that
bitch.
shit.
You better
You
not flinch, bitch.
better not flinch. Yeah, you could be that guy, that's that's what the red pill presents, or you could be the guy who got one end of the wagon and then your wife got the other end of the wagon and you carrying that bitch forward. With half the weight, or let's say not even half, let's say 70% of the weight, and maybe she carried 30. You know, I feel like that's a better representation of what people should try to aspire to versus the original, because it's like, bro, there's a reason why men are more likely to self-delete is because they have that Atlas freaking world on their shoulders at all times. And then when that world decides to fall on you, there's no one there to pick you up.
Yeah, you hit the ground too hard.
So, and then another thing, what Mercer said too is like the whole divorce thing.
But right, because they're always crying. They're literally always crying. Oh, divorce takes half. Well, motherfucker, think, have a strategy. Okay, if people are getting cleaned out because they make so much more money than their wife, what should you do?
Yeah, share the work, make her earn income as well. Because that's the thing that the reason you get cleaned out is just think about it. It's a percentage thing. If 100% of the income comes from you and you cut that bitch in half, you just lost 50%.
Yep.
Now let's say you make 60% of the income and she makes 40. Now it ain't that bad because
It ain't
you
that
cut
bad.
that.
You like, all right, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? She worked hard for this little 50%, little 10% she getting. Okay. Okay, moving on.
Exactly. And then you don't feel like you got raked over the coals.
Yeah. And then you feel like, oh my God, everything I ever worked for is gone up in smoke, you know. But
Plus,
we
think about this too. If you are the sole income provider for your house, it's like who's gonna beat who at the end when it's two incomes versus one? You know what I'm saying? So like the couple with two incomes more than likely are going to beat you out because there's only a certain amount of hours you can work before you freaking just kill yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's better, you know, if you compare apples to apples, two apples is better than one apple. It's just that simple. It's simple math. You know what I mean?
Hey,
But hey, you can decide what you want to do with your life if you want to follow that red pill thing. But unless you make a substantial amount of money, way higher than the average, you gonna be you gonna be going through it.
I mean, you're
You're
gonna
gonna
be
be
hurt
going through it.
regardless when you lose 50%.
And then you're gonna bring that stress into your relationship. And guess what? That stress that you feel from working by yourself, she gonna feel it. And it might put a wrench in your relationship. Not only that, she's not gonna understand your struggle. So when you get home, right? When you get home, stressed the fuck out because of bills or whatever the fuck, or you're tired from work, and she's been home doing her homely things, they're two different struggles. So you don't understand her struggle, she don't understand your struggle. So now this is another thing, another extra thing to fight about in your relationship. Whereas if she was working and you were working, they're both the same struggle. And then you share into the homely duties, also the same struggle. So now it's something that you guys can relate on. You know what I mean?
works well, man.
I don't know.
What do you think about the black pill and things like that? Overall, my thing is that the black pill has a lot of the truth to it. Height is very important, obviously. I've seen a guy who was like 6'7", looked like dog shit in the face, and he still had a flock of girls around him. I'm being dead ass honest. Like, so height is a big proponent. Um, if you don't have height, that's not the end of the world. I think you just have to. The number one thing that people don't realize is that the guys who get girls are the guys who approach girls.
Mm-hmm.
You can look like Brad Pitt. I'm going to tell you a large proponent of the time, women are not going to approach you. It just
Mm-hmm.
is what it is. And then you'll find out sometime. that pretty girl might settle for you. You may not be the most attractive dude, but if no one approaches her and she only has you, then you're the only one she's got. So I mean, and if you approach enough, you'll get the results that you want eventually, regardless. But if
Mhm.
you just sit there and just think, oh, I'm gonna look max first, and then I'm gonna try to go get a girlfriend. It's like, bro, the number one thing is approaching. You must become comfortable with approaching. If you
Hmm.
cannot do that, you're fucked.
I think my opinion on the black pill is this: a lot of the genetic things that affect attractiveness are true. Okay, women are attracted to height or a certain position of the eyes that make you look more attractive. All that stuff does affect, but it does. It's not the sole thing that women are attracted to or not. So, for example, I could take a dude who genetically should be attractive, right? But if I make him socially awkward, or let's say I style him a certain way, women are not going to be attracted to that. And then I could take a dude who shouldn't be attractive, but if he is socially calibrated and has confidence about his style, etc., he can get girls. We've seen that too. So it's not to the degree that they present it as. A lot of the time, the people who take it as gospel are the socially uncalibrated guy
Mm-hmm.
who is also unattractive. Of course, you're not gonna get shit. You have nothing going for you whatsoever. You know what I mean? And then even on the woman's side, because we don't talk about this, there are women who are unattractive, right? But like genetically, like no matter what they do, they're not gonna be the pretty girl, let's say. And they go through it too, but they have the social backing, as in there are people in society who are going to help that girl and get behind her and kind of push her to go out there and do something with her life, whereas men not as much. So a lot of time that genetically ugly dude just gets shafted because there's no people like, for example, me and Mercer to come up and say, hey, you could do this. Let me come pick you up and help you. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Whereas women will help each other in that situation. So I think a lot of the black pill stuff or black pill men are in that position because of those two things. Is essentially like lack of social backing and you know basically lack of social calibration. They're afraid to go do stuff
Yeah,
or go out there. You know.
I'm gonna say my top recommendations is if your teeth aren't straight, then you need to go get Invisalign. Okay, that's number one. Make sure you whiten your teeth. I mean, at least once a month. You could do twice a month if you want to, but you should be whitening. Your teeth should be straight. You should wear fucking cologne. You can ask me which colognes I think are the best. My favorite one and the one I get the most compliments on is Creed Aventus. I like Creed Aventus because not a lot of people can afford Creed Aventus. So that naturally means when a girl smells it, it's like the first time she smelled it or she's not smelling it a lot. Like some colognes like Sauvage, everybody and their mother has it. So I stay away from my game plan is always never do what everybody else is doing.
But let's be honest. If you're that black pill dude, wear Savage, wear something.
Yeah, something's better than nothing.
You have to get started before you go to an advanced level.
Like, I mean,
You know?
something's better than nothing because honestly, you always take advantage of what other people aren't doing. Okay, so majority of people aren't wearing cologne, so you wear cologne, you put yourself in another category. Okay, if most people got busted teeth and you get your teeth straightened, you're in a different category. So you want to keep shrinking, 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 shrinking. Like jewelry's important. Like go get your fucking necklace or a fucking bracelet. Like that little shit like that separates you from the next person. Go get your fucking watch. It's these little things like that that actually help you a lot. I don't think, like, for
Yeah, I
instance,
think.
me and Christian are very like straightforward. What we'll tell you, like, get your
Mhm.
teeth straight. Fucking
Mhm.
wear cologne. Get a necklace. Get a
Barber,
fucking bracelet.
a
Get a
trendy
hairstyle that
haircut,
fits you.
bro. The thing is, like, a lot of the times when you get started, you have to copy other people
Mm-hmm.
because that's just how it works when you have nothing. Essentially, like, if I have no style, like if I had to start over, like just remove, okay, I have no style. I'm dressing like I was in high school basically with trash clothes. Okay. First thing I would do is I would go online and see what the stylish people wear. And yeah, are you kind of faking it because that's not your true style? Yeah, but you have to get started somewhere. You have to try something out.
Mm-hmm.
I think what a lot of people do, especially these black pill dudes, what they do is like they just sit in the room and they don't try shit out because there is a certain style that will make you look more attractive and a certain archetype you could fit into that will take your attractiveness to the next level. But if you don't try it out, you'll never find it,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
Like those few things that we recommended there, those are pretty big. Obviously, never wear beat up shoes, especially if you're going on a date or something. Um, don't wear beat up shoes if you're going on a fucking date. Me personally, I wear kind of what they call, I don't know the name for the boots, but it's a certain type of boots that are kind of stylish. Okay. I love the boots. It gives you more of a like a manly vibe. There's also a little bit of height to it and shit like that. So I'm a big fan of boots and stuff like that. Uh, it works for me. I think it pretty much what I prescribe is something that can work for everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what skin color you are. You fix those few things, you do those few things, you'll set yourself in a different category, more likely to get a lot more yeses than nos.
Yeah,
But
you
like I
know,
said, the big proponent, I don't care what no one says, is working on the ability to actually go up and talk to women. You could be the best looking guy, whatever. I have a quote that I say, um, you don't want to live life in defense mode because if you live life in defense mode, you only get what life gives you. But if you switch your life to attack mode, you get a little bit more out of life. Okay.
yeah, also I would recommend go out into the world and take on responsibility because what I mean by that is if your life ain't going the way you want and you don't know what to do, find a way to take on some responsibility for something. That could be a job, that could be something that's hard to do because a lot of times when you put yourself in hard situations, when you get out of it, you come out with a lot more confidence because a lot of these dudes are so down low on confidence that they'll never be attractive even if they looks max. Some you can't fake that confidence thing. You really can't. Like you have to go live life and defeat some demons before you can level up. You get what I'm saying? Because for example, yesterday I was at work and I was in the break room and like this girl was like I was I was showing her like old pictures of me and she was like, "Oh, like you look like such a like sweet boy, like you had like a different face." Right? Like because they're all about facial features, right? And I'm like, "Yeah, I had a different face because I was younger, I hadn't gone through shit. I was like I hadn't worked yet. I hadn't taken no responsibility. I was just being a kid for years, right? But then like once I started working in my career, there was a switch. There was some kind of switch in my temperament and the way that I was behaving and my look and my confidence, right? So I would say go defeat some tasks out there. Get some experience doing other things. It's not just about women. Just
Mhm.
like get some accomplishments under you and you'll see like even your facial features and how you look will change based on that.
Right.
So
Also another thing is just being more around women in general will help you with women. Like let's say for instance, me and Christian, we work with a lot of women, so we interacting with women all the time. Like I tell my coworkers all the time, like I use what I say to them to women when I go out and it fucking works. Or like I'll listen to them and they'll give me advice on certain things, but I know what's the good advice and I know the difference between the bad advice.
Mhm.
Uh, so but just generally being around them, you get a lot, you understand them a little bit more. You come up with strategies, you feel more comfortable, uh, things of that nature. But if you don't put yourself in that like type of environment or things like that, you might find it a lot harder to understand them or see where they're coming from or approach them. You might be putting them on a pedestal or not, or it's like I said, put yourself in that environment in general. Me and Christian and ourselves, we learned a lot from
Yeah.
working with women. And a lot of times we work with very dominant women, like
Hmm.
very in charge, dominant, finisher fucking women. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like if you could deal with those type of women, you could pretty much deal with any type of woman.
Yeah. It's like you'll never be scared to approach a woman again after you work with the type of women that we work with because they're just not as tough as them. No way. It's
Yeah.
like we work with older women who are head of households who
Yeah.
like
Pretty much have our personality types. Pretty much have
yeah,
our personality type, but on women.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then they're all business, like when I talk to them, it's like, whoa, okay, watch out. Like, you know what I'm saying? It depends.
It,
And then
sometimes you get this feeling like when you're talking to them and they're being serious, it's kind of like you can feel the separation of power. Like they can make it real cold in a room or make you
yeah.
feel like you need to squirm or run away or something. I never forget one time, TP, me and Christian were goofing off at work, goofing off. And TP came in there and started yelling at us. Me and Christian and the other dude ran into the lab like some bitches. I swear to God, our ass ran in there like some bitches. I mean, you remember that shit, Christian?
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
ran in there like some bitches. Like, imagine us with a skirt on, but we ran in that motherfucker.
And then these are also educated women who are, because we're medical scientists, they're medical scientists as well. So there's like a degree of, there are peers too, which is good because I feel like a lot of men don't get that experience of being with those powerful women in a work environment where they're your peers and you have to help each other. So that when you go out and talk to women who are, let's just say, regular women or whatever, it, like you're not scared or nervous or anything like that.
Oh, I want to drop
You're-
this. I want to drop this because
Mhm.
this is some shit that no one know, like no one looks about. So, I go out, me and Kyle go out, and me and Kyle just noticed like every time we go and talk to a girl nowadays, the girl says, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I'm engineer, I'm studying astrophysicist, I'm doing this. I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is going on? Okay. And what I'm saying is, as soon as I get that in my head, I start projecting that into the future. And I'm thinking, oh my God, they're about to take over. Oh my God. Like if you're a dude and you think like, oh my God, like these girls are still getting bullshit degrees, wait 5 years from now and watch the data that comes out. You motherfuckers are behind. I'm telling you
Mhm.
this shit in real time. I see that shit. My brain just starts calculating it. Do, 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 do. Like, oh, this ain't good. Me and Kyle literally said, oh my God, this is like these are about to be like they're no longer getting junk degrees.
Yeah. It's
No
no
longer are they getting
longer,
junk fucking degrees. I think the lowest that when you go out and you talk to girls, what the lowest that when we go out and talk to girls at the bar, the lowest it is nurse. And that's a woman that's hitting probably 70 to 80K.
mhm.
You got doctors, lawyers, engineers. It's, hey, you better get fucking ready. Hey, you just got a treasure. You just got a treat for my NI. Okay, I'm telling you that shit right now. If you're a dude, you better get on your fucking shit because they're not playing. In the future, you're gonna have more politician women, more lawyers, more doctors, more engineers, more everything. And
Yeah.
guess what? They don't want no bum ass dude. Like I told you earlier, they want a dude that they could say they're proud of. Like, oh my
Mhm.
God, I'm dating Christian. And then everybody in the girls like, oh, that's Christian. Oh, Christian's so tough. Oh, Christian. Oh man, how you found that guy? Oh, that's what they want. So, hey,
Yeah, it's gonna get bad, bro. Because I don't know if they just think that because for the last 5-6 years we've been saying, or society's been saying, well, women get liberal arts degrees, they don't get STEM degrees. Do you think that they're not listening? They're just like oh shit, my bad. They're just like, oh, you
oh,
know,
just
just
keep getting liberal arts.
keep doing what every other women did for the last 15 years. No, they're all listening. And then you think their father or their mother, whatever, who went through that, ain't saying like, hey, don't go to college and get a liberal arts degree. Get a STEM degree now. Everybody get a STEM degree.
Ooh.
So then all these dudes who are like, oh, college is a scam. College is a
They
scam.
say, they say, they say, oh, girls going to school. I said, boy, listen here. I'm catching this data in real time. I'm catching this shit in real time. Real fucking time when I go out these bars and I talk to these girls. I'm catching this shit real fucking time. And then immediately my AI goes, boom. These motherfuckers better get fucking ready. They better fucking get ready.
No, no, no. But you know what guys are saying? Oh no, college is a scam. I'm gonna go do affiliative marketing and I'm gonna be a millionaire. Or I'm gonna start a YouTube channel and be like Sneeko and make videos and I'm gonna be a millionaire. I don't have to go to college. Meanwhile, all these girls fucking getting lawyer degrees,
Snatching the
engineering
truth up.
degrees. Well, it's gonna be over. It's gonna be over for them. Maybe like 10% of guys or less, maybe 1% of guys are gonna make it doing that other shit. The rest are gonna be fucked and behind. And all these women are gonna have high power degrees and they gonna be scrambling.
And let me tell you something. There is absolutely no boo-hoos for losers, man. If you're losing, no one cares, man. You ain't gonna, especially if you're a guy, bro. I mean, you ain't gonna get nothing. You ain't gonna get nothing over there. They ain't gonna show you no sympathy. I'm gonna tell you straight up, women ain't gonna show you no motherfucking sympathy. For a weak man, I don't give a damn what you can go. Women can sit here and lie and say this shit, but I hear my coworkers, I hear other women talk about weak men, and they say I can't
They hate them.
stand no weak man.
They hate them.
I can't stand no weak man.
I have a coworker. Her granddaughter was dating a dude who like got bad grades, didn't want to study, blah blah blah, didn't know if he wanted to go to college. And she's like, I can't stand that guy. He's a fucking bum. He's a loser. I don't know why my granddaughter with him. Oh, there's a reason. Like, bro, these women don't want bum ass dudes. They don't want losers. They don't want dudes who don't learn shit, who just sit in a basement trying to make it with crypto or whatever. They don't want them type of dudes because they're not. It's not. They're not secure. They know they're not going anywhere with that type of dude. And they have their mother, their grandmother in their ear telling them, "Hey, that dude's a bum," because they can see it a mile away. Now, do you want to be that dude? The dude where the grandma's telling her the granddaughter, "Hey, so and so, you need to get rid of him."
I'm gonna say this is when they friends or whatever start getting in their ear, you might as well go ahead and start the clock. Beep. Just start the clock because you're gonna get left eventually because the clock just started. Bink. As soon as their friends start saying, "Oh, this guy's a bum, this guy's a loser," bink.
Yeah. So
Social pressure is a bitch for women. A lot of times, social pressure is very important to them. Like I
now
said, they want to
I'm
have
gonna say
that
this.
guy.
I'm gonna say this because I think we touched on a very important topic, the whole thing about the red pill space telling men not to go to college. Because that is a thing. Because a lot of red pill guys are trying to sell courses to become online entrepreneurs, etc. Bro, you could do both. That's what people are missing that shit.
Hmm.
You could go to a college, start your college career, and do the online business thing on the side.
Hmm.
That way, okay, maybe the online business takes off. Cool. But maybe it doesn't. If it doesn't, at least you got some years of studying under your belt so that you could get a skill in college. Now, where I agree is you shouldn't go to college to get a random general degree. You
Yeah.
should not do that.
And then another thing is that you don't have to go to these super expensive schools. I recommend, starting at a community college or whatnot. There's going to be cheaper college and allow you to get 2 years under your belt. And then you could transfer to a school. But I'm not a big fan on going to the biggest school where you pay all this money because to me, information is information. Organic
Mhm.
chemistry is organic chemistry. Okay. Ain't much you can do to change around that motherfucker. Organic is organic. Chem one is chem one. Chem two is chem two. It is what it is. Biochem is biochem. Okay.
Yeah.
You can slice and dice however you want to. You can play a premium to take their courses or not. I know a lot of people are gonna say, well, it's about networking. Okay. Well, I feel as though if you are that person, like the school that you go to doesn't mean anything. It's about who you are and once you get your degree and what you're gonna do after that.
And you go do your networking at the workplace anyways.
So
So and this networking thing is like super overblown in college because a lot of people just move to different states or they do different career fields. They can't even help you in your career because they're in a whole different career field. And it also depends on what career you choose. Because if you're in, for example, a medical degree or whatever, there's not much upward mobility that you could do
mhm,
unless you just study another degree. No amount of networking is going to put you in a position over, like, let's say if you're a medical scientist and you want to be a nurse, you can't just jump to being a nurse or whatever. No amount of networking is going to allow you to do that. You have to actually go study it. But
mhm.
before I go on a tangent, like, as a rule of thumb, if you're going to go to college, have a, when you graduate, you should get a certificate or a license attached to the degree. That's a nice rule of thumb. If you could do that, then college is worth it because now you're separating yourself from the general population.
Mhm.
Now, if you get a general psychology degree or a general biology degree or whatever with no license or certification attached, in my opinion, that degree is not worth it.
Yeah. Back to the red pill question. Got to stay
But
back.
that is part of the red
It
pill
is part
because
of red pill. So I mean,
entj, Sneeko, even Fresh on Fresh and Fit recommend don't go to college. But what they're doing is they're setting up
a lot of people to get fucked.
99% of men to get completely fucked. That's what they're doing because even they will admit, yeah, only 1% of people could be successful entrepreneurs. But then they will blanket statement say, college is bullshit, scam, don't go. Right? But then there's way more six-figure earners who went to college that didn't than the ones who didn't. So here I am to say, hey, do your online business thing on the side while you go to college. And guess what? Myron did that shit. And he's a red pill guy. He went to college. He got a college degree, then went to the feds, etc. Had a regular job, had a side business on the
He
side.
was making six figures at that job.
Exactly. But he had 6 figures at the job, 6 figures on the online business. That's a way smarter way to do it because now you could actually work on your business with no pressure. You're chill because your living expenses are covered by your actual job. Now, just to end the thing, just remember, rule of thumb, if you go to college, make sure whatever you go for has a license or certificate at the end attached with your bachelor's degree so that
Of a
you can
specific
actually go
job,
employ.
a
Yeah,
job.
specific job or license.
So
Yes.
a job after you graduate, you could start working within the next 3 to 4 months, straight up. Okay, if it ain't got that, ain't got no internships and shit like that, I'm not a big fan of. Unless you not, you want to go into like law school and medical school stuff like that. Like it's totally different. But yeah, that is a big thing. We touched on where women will be in the next 5 to 10 years. So that's a big one. There, that is a gem that no one is talking about. No one's talking about that. Okay. Um, we talked about yeah. Hmm. Uh, what else you got, Christian?
Let me think. What's another tenant of the red pill we could discuss? Having multiple girls. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about
Woo! All right.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
this is different because this is like my lifestyle. Okay. This is my lifestyle and it's been my lifestyle. This is something I'm very good at. Um, and if you know me, I'm very strategic about any and everything that I fucking do. And I'll tell you this from that, you spend a lot of money. It's a lot of emotional things you have to deal with. A lot of times you can feel like you're not progressing or going anywhere because you're doing that. Um, because you're burning money, you're going out. So if you don't have these funds or anything like that, this could be very taxing. And then you're mentally taking on other women and you need to be focusing on a specific job, career, or whatever the fuck you're doing, but you're also taking on their emotions, their lifestyle, things of that nature. And that can be very draining, especially when you start rotating five, six, seven, brother. It's just it's crazy. Um,
Mhm.
and you got to start remembering names. You got to start remembering all this stuff. You got to start. Then me on here. I start fucking. I don't even say their names. I don't even say their fucking names because I might set myself up to say the wrong name or like I won't even talk about past experience that we've had or something because I might be setting myself up because I had the wrong experience with the wrong another girl. So I
Yeah.
very strategically stay away from a lot of that shit. But I would say in general, you lose a lot. And some dudes can do it. I don't think a lot of guys can do it.
Mm.
I really don't think a lot of guys are really like that. They want
Yeah.
that lifestyle, but being honestly, when you start burning that money because you got to go on dates, you got to go out. Um, that's money that you could have put in the S&P 500. That's money you could have put in crypto. That's money that you could have invested into your side business or things like that. But you're just blowing that up in smoke. Another thing is your psyche, okay? Because you have all these people pouring into your psyche, and just feel like you're like getting spread out like a fucking spider, and everybody has a leg, okay?
Hmm. Hmm.
So in general, that's not for everybody. Um,
Yeah.
like I
I
said,
think I think red pill overblows like how many men can actually live that lifestyle. Like they'll say like, oh, every man wants that lifestyle. That's what they'll say. They'll say like, yeah, no, if everybody could, they would have all these women or whatever.
I think that's a lie because if you ask the guys who actually do it and you actually polled them and you said, if you had your dream girl, would you give up that lifestyle? And majority of them would say yes.
Well, that's what I was about to say is that it's almost a selection bias because let's say the men who produce the red pill content hang out with other men who produce red pill content and they want to live that lifestyle. But if you go to society and you poll men and you see what they're doing, that's not what they're doing. It's like a lot of men get attached to the girl and get territorial over that girl and they want to lock that in, you
Or
know?
you didn't even talk about that as well. Like when you start doing things like that, you also run the risk of maybe this girl starts getting attached to you. Maybe she ruins your reputation. Maybe she slashes your tires. Maybe she does something crazy to get you, and God knows what. You're running the risk. The more girls you see, more things you do, you're running that risk. Okay. And all it takes is one bad events, and now you're in trouble. What was that guy name? Who was in some shit?
Uh the Marvel actor.
The Marvel. I don't know. I forgot his name. But you when you
Kang, but I don't know his name. Jonathan Majors?
Yeah, Jonathan Major.
Jonathan
You,
Majors.
the more women you start rotating, the higher that chance of something like that happening.
Mm.
Maybe she breaks out your windows because you're seeing other girls. Maybe she slashes your tires because you're seeing other girls. Maybe she fucking decks you in the face at the club because you're seeing other girls. Um, you're putting yourself in a lot of risk for that.
Yeah.
Um,
It's actually riskier to be single and living that lifestyle than not, honestly.
and I mean, God, I don't even want to talk about if you potentially get the Me Too. That is your ass. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even care what no one says. If you get me too or fake accusation against you, your reputation is already ruined and it's not coming back. Like people are always gonna see you in that light. Even if
Mhm.
you win or whatnot, you're still gonna be seen in that light. So unfortunately, you run that risk with the more people you deal with.
Yeah, no, that's true. And then it's just, and the fact that, if you're gonna have kids, more than likely your kid doesn't want to see you going out with other women. Like, let's be honest. Like, I mean, Mercer, you could tell the story of when you were a kid and you were like, oh, like I don't want to be like that when I grow older.
Oh
Of course,
shit,
not knowing what
yeah.
your drive is going to be when you're older, because obviously you're a kid and you haven't developed yet. But as a
I never get that.
go
My
ahead.
grandfather, he was a big player. He had like 20 kids. When I seen him and the way he treated like my mom and grandma and stuff like that, I said I never want to be like that guy. I never fucking wanted to be like that guy. Um, but unfortunately, life has different paths for you.
Yeah, because you don't know when you grow older as a man, your obviously your drive develops, and then you get, kind of what they were going through or what urges they had,
Mhm.
later on. But the thing is, as a kid, for the stability of the kid, they wouldn't want to see their dad running around with different women. I mean, we know, we've had people in the group who've shared experiences of them seeing their dad with other women and how it affected them and etc. And if you want the best for your kid, that's not what you want to do. That's not the type of image you want to present to them, whether it be a girl or a boy, just
Yeah, yeah, you got to be cognitive of the things that you do and how that can impact them. Um, like I always say, your job as a parent is to allow your kids to get scars, but not give them the scars that impact their growth at a higher age. Um, so yeah. Anything else, Christian?
let me think.
I
There's
think
a
we
lot of stuff, a lot of stuff.
we'll
uh
just call this part one or something. We'll call this part one. Every week we're going on a weekly rant. You guys can leave comments of things you guys want us to go more into depth on or anything like that. But generally speaking, man, me and Christian are pretty good um, in the department when it comes to like talking to women, things like that. I think Christian is the relationship guru. I'm not even gonna lie, this guy. Guy's the relationship guru. He could keep a relationship. I tell you that much. Um,
Mhm.
if you're in the group, you've seen his girlfriend, very attractive woman. So you can always ask Christian for relationship advice. He's cuck of the year. Uh, differently, my style's a little bit different. But
Yeah,
he's
I think it's good. We could cut it here, make this part one, and then I guess when the members see the video, they could come up with questions about maybe some shit that they're going through.
or if you want advice or you want tips, things like that,
Yeah, because we won't give you the cookie cutter like red pill advice.
I'll give
We'll
you the
give
best fucking advice.
we'll
I
give you the real shit. We'll give you
like
the real shit,
that's the relationship guru, and this is like
non-biased,
the
non-biased. We're
player for
not
life.
red pill, blue pill, nothing. We took information from everything and we figured out the real. So if you want any advice on anything, tell Mercer, he'll tell me, and then we'll make a video about it. And that could be its own thing. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean we'll have our weekly rants, Mercy and Christian. So let us know if you like it. If not, we're gonna still keep doing it. So fuck you. Uh, all right, man. Take it
All right.
easy. Anything, Christian?
No, that's it. That's it. Have a good one, man.
All right.
Peace out.